It's time. We are live. JC Zargo is with me. NFL Week 4 is almost in the books. We have one more game to play tonight, but this is a show where we review everything that we saw last week. And then, of course, we will look ahead and find the winners for tonight's game. JC, let us start with last week's Thursday night NFL game. Thursday night seems so much long ago. Let me pull these scores up. My computer's going a little slower than usual. What's up to everybody in the chat? The Nuke the House YouTube channel is here. I'm your host, Astaire, with JC Zargo, and we are looking at all these games. What was that Thursday night game that was so boring? Oh yeah, the Lions beat the Packers 34-20. Any thoughts?
You kind of screwed me, spread. I'll say that. Thursday I tuned in. I watched you and Tyler with Meg, and
okay.
I already locked in the Lions money line, and I was like,
okay.
This feels like an under. And then sure enough, your best bet is the under. And
I got screwed.
The spreads in, I'm in. I took the full game under. I took the first half under, and ended up losing some money Thursday night. Result as expected. I figured Detroit would roll them, but way higher scoring.
Well, I apologize, and the thing is the Lions' offense better than we expected? What's up, Jonathan Nelson? Or is the Packers' defense worse? I am going towards the latter right now. When we liked the Packers in the preseason, we thought that with the uncertainty around the quarterback aside, we thought the other 52 players that they had the best roster, and I don't know if that's true. That Lions defense actually looked a little better than the Packers defense. Jordan Love's been inconsistent so far. What do you think, man? Do we downgrade this Packers defense?
No. I think the Lions are that good.
Okay.
Not to spoil anything, but it was a hot topic last week. -2.5 in Vegas. Once again, I'm going to have to be fading Vegas.
We play them next week?
Yeah. That's Monday night.
No. Oh, we play the Packers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm not. It's pretty situational for the Packers, which it seems obvious, right? Like that's how betting is. But I don't know. I think they'll win. They'll win the games they're supposed to. That's what I think about this team. They're not no crazy upsets or anything like that, but they kind of feel the same. I put them in the same arena as the Steelers, personally.
I mean, let's not talk about the Raiders yet.
Okay.
All right.
But I just mean, would you agree with that in general, though, about Green Bay?
That what? They're better than the Raiders? Yeah.
No. Same arena as the Steelers.
In what way?
They're not good, but they're not bad. I'm not. They're not impressive, but they're not terrible. I don't know. Making any sense?
That's fine. Well, I can't wait to talk about the Steelers. I mean, there's so many teams that are going to get upgraded. Let's see how this transition works here. That was terrible. No, that wasn't good either. I got to work on that. Anyways, that was the whoosh to take us in to another team, Jacksonville Jaguars. So I hope you tuned in on Friday when I gave that out my best bet. I hope you follow me on Twitter where I had my cat give this out as her best bet, right? So we doubled down on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they won 23-7. That was an easy win for us. That game went exactly as I expected. And the reason you reminded me of this when you talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers is simply, I think the landscape of the NFL is going to change. If this quarterback class is as good as we think it is, how many teams are just a quarterback away? I feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is one of them. I mean, the defense isn't like good, but they're not bad. They have all the other things. It's just Desmond Ridder to me is bottom three. Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett. I mean, these are the worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now. The Falcons, it actually kind of hurts that they're 2-2. All they need is that new quarterback. What did you see in this game? I mean, I'm just going to victory lap it as long as you let me because, boy, I knocked this pick out the park.
Yeah, kudos to you on that. I'll be honest. I just couldn't tail a cat. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I stayed off this one, and I did regret it. Huh? Yeah. That was.
We can get a little more clever with that, but
that was very intentional. I know what I did there.
Cattails, let's go.
I was still out on this Atlanta team. I wasn't sure. Actually, both teams going into this, I didn't really know what to make of either of them. I stayed off of it. So kudos to you for pulling the trigger because you were very right. And granted, two teams don't know what to make of each other, play each other. I still don't know what to make of either team. I mean, I would agree Atlanta's probably trash, which is what we expected. They just had a couple nice games early. And hopefully Jacksonville's back on track. But I don't know.
Okay, well, I know what to make of both these teams. Atlanta's an okay team with excellent skill players and a terrible quarterback. They're only going to do well against teams that really don't have a lot of offensive firepower. That's going to let them just dud around with them, right? Against teams that can move the ball through the air and score quickly, they're screwed. Jacksonville is a team that is yet to meet its potential. Trevor Lawrence, we expected a big step up from him here. We haven't seen it yet, and it feels like they're kind of struggling to get some of these skill players involved. So let's see where they are at right now. Another weakness on the Jaguars, I know the defense looked good against the Falcons, but I chalk that up more to the Falcons' ineptitude. It's going to be, can this offense overcome what I consider to be a mediocre defense for Jacksonville? So that's what I know to take away from these two teams. Let's move into the Sunday morning slate. As a noted weirdo, Deshaun Watson was scratched from the game on what was it, Saturday night? We started to hit news. Maybe Friday. I can't remember. We kind of saw this coming, but boy, we should have loaded up on the Ravens as bad. Deshaun Watson obviously hasn't lived up to the contract. But they really missed him out there. The Ravens absolutely smoked the Browns, 28-3. I would say this is a referendum. We thought the Browns defense might be the best in the world. But the thing is, when you have to play defense that much, when your offense is constantly going 3 and out, I think it's tough to judge a defense. We've had that same issue with the Jets when we're trying to rate this team as well. Ravens roll. They moved to 3-1. Browns, boy, we'll see if Watson's back next week. It was like a late week injury, so I would expect to see him back. I don't know. I guess I feel stronger on what to make of these next teams. What do we make of the Ravens and the Browns? What's up to everyone watching? Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, this was a tough one. This season, I've started placing my bets on Saturday, and I just, I don't know if I didn't see the news or I didn't, place it too early. I had money on Cleveland, and boy, did I feel foolish. I was very down on this Baltimore team. I just felt like, thought they were frauds. Everyone's kind of still waiting for that MVP Lamar to show back up, but they were impressive, and putting up 28 on Cleveland, that's an impressive feat. Also strange, I wouldn't have guessed Cleveland was this reliant on Deshaun, like just with Chubb and their, other skill players. I thought they'd have been able to do better than 3 points on Baltimore. Further, don't know what to make of Cleveland and Baltimore. They might be legit, so good for them.
What do you mean? Stop acting surprised that Baltimore's legit. They had a former MVP at quarterback. They have a Super Bowl winning coach. They always seem to make things work year after year. I think Cleveland's going to be okay once Deshaun Watson comes back. I didn't really downgrade them. I think it's fine to upgrade Baltimore, although I don't want to take too much of it because I think it's so easy, especially for this team to play with the lead.
But Baltimore's they've been trash since Lamar's MVP season.
They haven't been trash. The Raiders have been trash. The Falcons have been trash, right?
Okay, sure.
Baltimore has been above average, but they haven't been a true Super Bowl contender.
Yes. That was like they had a tremendous year. What was that, like 19? And then they've just been like above average, trash compared to what we expected, right? For a team that's supposed to be contending for a Super Bowl. So that's why I just didn't want to believe it with Baltimore until I saw it.
So let's take out the word trash and we'll say they failed to meet their high expectations.
Sure.
I mean, let's reserve trash for the team behind me, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. There are a lot of trash teams in this league, and yeah.
I mean, there's real trash out there, and Baltimore Ravens aren't one of them. I mean, at least as a Ravens fan, every year you can be excited about the game. I mean, I didn't want to get into my team yet, but I mean, do you know how disgusting it is to just know that's coming every Sunday?
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
25 years. 25 years. That's what I lived with.
Did you really?
Yeah, the Dolphins have been terrible my whole life.
Have they?
They had Marino when I was like born, but within my memorable life.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a great
which they never won a Super Bowl with Marino. So
it was weird too because he didn't make it in '84, and everyone's like, "Oh, he'll be back a bunch of times."
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like Jay Feely, Chad Henne, Dante Culpepper, like there's some rough.
And it was washed on Dante Culpepper too.
Yeah. And do you know who they passed on? Who they were like, should we go Drew Brees coming back from a shoulder injury or Dante Culpepper with a knee injury? We'll go Culpepper. Turned out great.
We got to say what's up to our guy Mark.
Yeah, we do.
Music group.
What's up, dog?
He's a contributor, of course, on the NBA shows, and now he's here to talk some NFL with us as well. Our guy Jonathan Nelson. I mean, well, at least you guys got the win, right? All right, let's move on. A team that I do so. I've been pretty confident in my takes so far, JC, but we're talking through this. We're trying to decide of what to make of these teams. And a team that I had high priors on, failing to meet expectations, is the Cincinnati Bengals, who only put up 3 points against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Browns only put up 3 points, but that was with their backup quarterback. Cincinnati Bengals did with Joe Burrow. Now, we know that Joe Burrow's not himself. T. Higgins leaves the game with injury. This is a Bengals team that we thought would be up there with the Bills, the Chiefs, now the newly ascended Dolphins to the top of this AFC list, right? As true AFC championship contenders, right? We thought this team could be in the Super Bowl. Does not look like that right now. And with Burrow playing through this injury, now I'm not a doctor, and from what I've read, the idea is like, okay, it's not going to get any worse. It's just a pain tolerance thing.
Right.
But with him out there, the way he's playing right now, this is rough. For Tannehill shares in best ball, feeling a little better, right? For playing the Tennessee Titans over, feeling a little better. I think I got it at 7.5. They're 2-2. Feeling pretty good about that. The Bengals over is dead. Feels like I had it at 11.5. I think that one's dead. What do we make of these teams going forward? I'm not surprised to see the Titans do well with their backs against the wall. I just wonder how they'll respond to a little bit of success because it's been part of the inconsistency with this team. It seems like you only want to bet them when everybody's counting them out. When they have expectations, they fail to meet them. Yeah. And the Cincinnati Bengals, we know what the problem is, but the question is, as gamblers, how long do we do? Do we just go ahead, downgrade them, and then just wait until they prove us wrong? How do we approach both these teams? Because I don't want to take too much from these results, but it's hard not to.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say, winning money is great, but not losing money is just as good sometimes.
It's better at -110.
Yeah, I told you after week 1 or week 2, I said we just gotta wait and see with this Bengals team. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to bet them until they start winning. And boy, was I tempted with this line against Tennessee, especially seeing what Tennessee did against Cleveland the week before. But I didn't touch it, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm not downgrading Cincinnati. Like, I'm not worried about them. If you're a Bengals fan, you might be a little panicky. They'll come around. Okay. A little concerned about when. Will it be too late by the time they do? You're not. At the end of the day, you still got Joe Burrow as your quarterback. So even if, he needs. If he can't find it this season, if his injury is too bad, you'll be fine next year. But still, I think they'll come back around. And I think, it's a real weak contest for the last wild card spot or two in the AFC. So, I mean, if they can get it going soon, I think they can, get that spot. As for Tennessee, though, I don't know what to make of this team. Kind of like you said, maybe it is when their back's against the wall, but I don't know. I mean, they basically flipped what happened in Cleveland. Instead of getting crushed and only scoring 3 points, this time they only allowed 3 points. This is a team that's very hard to predict. And
all right, and that's fine. I mean, we don't need to bet every game, and we can know that certain teams there's too much variance going against them. Maybe we won't bet them until they look absolutely terrible again, and everybody counts them out. Jonathan Manson in the chat, what's up, my guy? Glad to see you in here. Adding here, he says Giants better win, especially off a 10-day prep. Next two are Miami and the Bills on the road. All right, and we'll be getting to that Giants game at the end, but we're still on the recap. We're still in the 10 a.m., 1 p.m. slate, depending on where you're at. For me, it was 10 in the morning when I watched the Denver Broncos. What did they fall behind? 21-7. Then they storm back. They get the victory. Russell Wilson puts up great statistics, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't care. This team still sucks. Your thoughts? I can't wait to keep fading this Broncos team. They suck.
Man, oh man. It's funny because middle of the week, everyone's complaining about what percentage, a pretty large portion of the country got Denver, Chicago instead of Miami, Buffalo. And this turned out to be the better game. That was a wild comeback. It's funny because I thought there was a chance Denver was going to let out some frustration on the Bears. And then, they went down early. I was like, wow, maybe Denver's really that bad. And then they came storming back. So I am confidently saying the Bears are as trash can be. I think they're probably the worst team in the league. Denver's still very bad, but they just kind of proved they're not the worst by beating the Bears.
Yeah, they're not the worst. Chicago Bears are the worst team in the league. So, Broncos play the Jets next week. Wilson versus Wilson.
What's the spread?
JC will be joining us on the Friday show.
2.
We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna end that Sunday morning slot, and we're gonna go for Friday. It gives you guys more time to check it out. Also, if I accidentally sleep in, it doesn't kill me. So, JC will be talking about the Broncos and the Jets. That's what we call a tease. But is it? Does anyone care? That was the Los Angeles Rams. JC, do you know how hard I had to talk Tyler into playing this under? At 23-0 in the third quarter, you don't think I'm feeling good? You don't think I'm ready to I told you so victory lap this thing? Then the Rams fall apart. Fortunately, so we have 2 plays on the game. We have the Rams money line and the under. I'm thinking easy 2-0, right? I'm thinking I called the game perfectly. Oh, I love the projections. I'm in here just working myself up how cool I am. Then the Colts come back. So I'm fine with where I'm at on the Rams. I think Matt Stafford, the guy's going to make anybody good, right? And I think he's kind of underrated as a quarterback. Did you see him just hobbling around out there with the team that has no chance to even make the playoffs? What a stud. How could you not look up to that guy? And then Richardson, man, came alive there towards the end of that game. We got to give him credit. I'll tell you what, take some L's. And I never said I was a scout, so I'm not – when I say a team's going to win or I bet against the spread, I'm pretty confident about it. Scouting, I'm just throwing stuff out there. But I thought Bryce Young was going to be the only good quarterback. Both C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson have looked fantastic. So you got to think they've got something to build with here. Really disappointed I didn't get my under here, but let's give credit to this Colts team, and I have to upgrade them because I didn't think they were going to be very good, and they are. So they're a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, Rams definitely a formidable opponent. Like you said, probably not a playoff team, but definitely, I mean, that's a good win. That's a good win.
It might be in that weird NFC though, right? I mean,
it's possible. I mean, just having to play in that division though. I mean, having to play. It depends what the Seahawks are. It depends how we grade them. Yeah, I mean, Rams have already defied expectations this season. Everyone thought they were going to be that bad. So good for them. But definitely storyline, more so the Colts, even with the Rams winning. Especially, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight in the AFC South. Everyone is better than expected. Jaguars are worse than expected, so it kind of balances out.
and
exactly.
It seems fun to watch. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
The interesting thing there too is it wouldn't it be crazy if the Jaguars kind of came together, right?
Right.
Everything's there for them to be as good as it's not like I'm trying to think. It's Cincinnati that we talked about earlier. You already were looking ahead to next year. It might be a little too late. Then Jacksonville could flip that switch quick. A lot of great stuff going on in the AFC South. My guy Jonathan Nelson in the chat. Boy, he must have been worried there early in the game as the Panthers jumped out to the lead, but the Vikings came back. They won 21-13, so they covered the spread. They survived. They stay alive. Kirk Cousins only passed for 139 yards. Justin Jefferson with 6 receptions, 85 yards, and 2 touchdown catches. I don't know. Okay. Do we talk about this game?
No, I would just. The Vikings are not an 0-14, so I had them here. It seemed like a real easy spot to pick up that win that they desperately needed.
Were you worried, bro? You had to have been worried in the morning.
Little bit.
I was glad I didn't bet it because to me it was Vikings or pass. The numbers said Vikings, and I didn't want to do it. And I'm like sitting there once again, just pat myself on the back. Oh, hey, great job.
They kept it close enough that I was never too worried.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a Vikings fan. I feel bad for those guys because they're not bad. Like they're just getting some bad beats. So definitely glad to see them get the win. 1-3. You got to start rattling off some wins. They're going to have to get a little bit of a hot streak if they actually want a playoff spot.
See some people rolling in. What's up? Hit that like button. Guys, share this with your friend. Let's get this cracking, man. I like when we have a fired up chat. In the NBA shows, right? They fire me up here. These guys are real nice here. Probably because there's no NFL team that I hate the way that I hate the Lakers. It's probably a little easier.
And there's no. Well, I don't know. Is there any NFL player you hate as much as you hate LeBron?
No. Of course
not. None?
No. Who should I hate in the NFL?
I don't know. I mean, you got I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to hate. I don't know.
It's not.
I think NFL players are more relatable than NBA players, personally.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you hated Mahomes for carving up your team and knowing he's going to carve up your team.
But he's so sweet to watch.
He is. That's I'm jealous of you. Brady wasn't fancy. Watching him destroy my team for 2 decades was just miserable. It was just methodical. It was boring, and I hated it. Whereas
he had more flair than Manning. Manning was even more boring.
That's so true. So true. Yeah. Whereas you gotta hate how much you love watching Mahomes.
Yeah, we do need we the people in here. So also this is a recap show, so I don't have to take a side, right? We're just talking.
True.
Let's talk about a game that. So my worst. So what we're doing is we're reviewing our picks, reviewing the plays, reviewing the teams, upgrading, downgrading. My worst pick of the day yesterday was by far the Pittsburgh Steelers. My idea is, I probably hate the people on the Raiders more than anyone. I hate Josh McDaniels more than anybody in the whole NFL.
Okay.
But I did pick a side on the Steelers game, and I was absolutely wrong. Well, I split it. I went 1-1 because we were on the under too. But I really thought that C.J. Stroud would struggle with that Texans pass rush. We know how beat up their line was. Once Laramie Tunsil was trending out, because when we placed the bet, it was Tuesday. I didn't get the official word yet. But everything that I was reading from being on their subreddits are a good place for kind of getting ahead of that injury news. But yeah, you called it, Clyde. Keep victory lapping.
Hey, Fred, you and Tunsil have a few things in common, don't you?
What? Let's hear it. I'm never gas masked.
Just both.
What do we have in common?
Huh?
What do we have in common?
Yeah, you both enjoy the ganja.
That's me and a lot of players.
That's true.
If anything,
I think the funniest thing
Tunsil and Tyler, because Tyler's not here today. Tyler didn't show up for week 4.
It's true. I think that's the funniest thing about that whole scandal is everyone freaking out about it, and then him being like,
if anything, it's just the stupidity of letting yourself be filmed doing it.
Sure, but he was like, that was the only
But it's
time
an offensive lineman, bro. I don't care if my offensive lineman's stupid.
Absolutely, and he's
Go
like,
crush that guy.
That was a one-time thing. I only did it once. And it's like, who the hell hits a gas mask their first time?
I know, huh? Can you imagine? I haven't even done that gas mask shit. All right. Okay, so the Texans, pretty good, huh? This is pretty cool.
I'm not going to bet the AFC South. I stayed away from this game.
Smart to do that. I think you're smart to just say, hey, some of these teams are tough. Do you know how tough it was for me after losing on the Texans when I backed them against the Colts last week to watch them play this way this week? What I expected?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, the Steelers aren't that good, and I'm like, I think the Texans.
No, they're another team. They're just like the Falcons.
Yeah.
Falcons probably are a little better at the skills. But they have a way better defense. Draft one of these quarterbacks. Oh my gosh! I hope so many of these quarterbacks are good.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, Houston's they're not bad. So I stayed away from it. That's a real bad look. I'm glad to know. That's almost as bad as me betting Cleveland.
What's a worse look? Me betting Pittsburgh or Jimmy Butler showing up looking like a
I think I'm gonna have to give that one to Jimmy Butler.
Dude, what are you doing, weirdo? Okay,
you don't like it? I love it. It's not a good look, but that's the point.
What's the point of doing that? Okay, just be.
Because then all your photos, like when you're on Prize Picks and stuff, and like if you look at Jimmy Butler, he just looks funny.
Why would he want to look funny?
Because I'm
just getting too many girls in Miami.
Like, I mean, okay, for someone like Jimmy Butler, any player who's been in the league that long, media day has to suck. It's got to be so boring.
Bro, my Twitter timeline sucks on it too. Everyone's saying the most normal stuff.
Right. You got people
else wants to be an all-star. Good for you. Why am I reading this?
You're getting asked the most generic questions, and it's like the social media team. Like, believe me, I've worked with enough teams. I know the social media, the type of people that work the social media team. They're gonna have you just do stupid stuff. So he's having fun with it. It's got to be like his least favorite day of the year, and he's like, how can I make this at least a little bit fun? Last year, the dreads, he took it up a notch this year. So good for him.
He's acting like a Karen about that Dane Miller trade. The Buccaneers defeat the New Orleans Saints 26-9. We thought we were going to get our guy Jameis Winston out there.
I know.
We did not. Derek Carr didn't play well. Buccaneers smashed them. Buccaneers are now 3-1. The Saints are 2-2. I'd say this is the most disappointing loss of the Saints for the season, and they blew that 17-0 lead to the Packers, who we don't rate very highly. I mean, Buccaneers are pretty legit. That what we take away? I mean, you said you don't want to bet the AFC South. Can I not bet the NFC? Well, no, because I want to fade the Falcons. So I'll bet some NFC South.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave an edge to Tampa. I didn't think it'd be this ugly. I was really upset because I figured I really wanted to bet Jameis Winston to throw an interception, which he did. Oh my gosh, he still did. I didn't know that. And so it wasn't an option when I went to bet it. And he threw one pass and still threw an interception. I love that. Baker Mayfield, though, I think that's really kind of the storyline at Tampa Bay is like Mayfield's a great quarterback.
Not great. He's above
better than your quarterback. I don't know.
Wow. Oh, boy, what an achievement. Oh, wow.
I don't even know if that's true. Like, I think it's you swap them, you put Jimmy G on the Bucks and Baker on the Raiders, and yeah.
All right, the Philadelphia Eagles 34, Washington Commanders 31. Tyler and I teased them down to 2. Bro, you know how happy we were that he didn't go for that extra point, or goes for the extra point, not the 2-pointer. And the 2-pointer is probably the correct move there. We got lucky. I don't know. Sam Howell went from looking like, quarterback that needs to be replaced to say, hey, I see why we're building around these guys. Eagles, I don't know. Commanders always play them tough, so I don't want to take anything away from them. They're 4-0. I mean, that's what really matters. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, divisional game, right? I mean, being at home, that's a little embarrassing. But Washington, they're a team on the rise. They got some talent. You don't. I don't think there's any reason to read that much into it. If it wasn't a divisional opponent, I'd be a little concerned. But it's a team you play twice a year. They know each other well.
Yeah.
And like you said, at the end of the day, a win's a win. So I think.
And I got to be happy for Sam Howell, right? After such a terrible performance there against Buffalo, bounces back and looks somewhat respectable. But the main event of the morning.
Hang on, real quick though. I'm getting tired of losing money on Philly, though. Where are you at on that?
I just don't lay it. We just teased him. We didn't play it.
I'm smart. Yeah, I just believe it's. All right.
I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I also think the reason they were such a force last year is their schedule was so easy. They've had more injuries, and the loss of the coordinators. I'm not saying that they can't still win the NFC, but I think it's going to be harder for them to cover spreads. I don't think that they're on that same path that they were last year. I feel like they're still rebuilding in certain ways.
I might have to start fading them on the spread.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think of who they play next week.
They got the Rams. They're -4.5.
Is it in LA?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, let's talk about the main event of the morning/afternoon, depending on where you live. It's your Miami Dolphins finally hit a speed bump, hit a fork in the. I don't know if they hit a fork in the road. You understand my point. Rough day out there for Tua and the Fins. The Buffalo Bills, man, that defense looks fantastic. I would say more impressive than putting up the number of points they did was holding Miami to that number of points. And we'll talk about our little bet a little later, right? Remember when I said the Jets, we put the Jets, Dolphins at 27.5? I don't know if I believe in this Jets defense as much anymore. I think the Buffalo Bills have proven now that they have the best defense in the division, in a division that's so close, it could be the difference. Now, let's be fair, they were at home, but it was great conditions for Miami. It wasn't like Miami had to go up there in December. You're a Dolphins fan. All right, so we already know upgrade the Bills, give them their props, give them their flowers. Talk to me about how you're feeling. First of all, give it to me as a gambler and give me the unbiased version, and then go ahead and let it all out. How did it feel for the biggest game for the Dolphins in a while? And they come and perform like that.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty heavily leveraged on Miami. I mean, they just fell flat. A lot of stuff they normally do wasn't working. They couldn't run the ball as well on Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's defense looked sharp. It looked really good. And Miami's defense, they just didn't have an answer. I mean, the Bills were just moving the ball at will on the Dolphins. And this was the Buffalo team people expected to see. A little shaky. I mean, week 1, losing to the Lions, not good. Kind of like, oh, what's going on with this team?
No, Buffalo's up to the Jets.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, and that was a division game.
Yes.
And I thought that the Jets just had a super good defense. They might just match up with Buffalo really well.
Right. So, I mean, Buffalo is Buffalo. They are right back to, where they should be, where everyone thinks they should be. They are, top tier in the AFC. Personally, got a little ahead of myself.
Are they? Are they? So I still have the Chiefs ranked above them.
I mean, it's 1A, 1B. I mean, like it's
Buffalo's a better team, but Chiefs have a better quarterback. And at the end of the day, this is the new league. It's not.
I mean, it's a pick 'em on neutral turf, right?
No, Kansas City's got to be -2, at least in my rankings.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because well, I mean, I was gonna say because the Chiefs barely beat the Jets, but Buffalo did lose to the Jets. I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs have not demonstrated they are that powerhouse that we've seen in the past year or two. I mean, like, obviously they're great. Tyler, on neutral turf, who do you got with Buffalo, Kansas City?
Yeah, I was listening. I was like, let me come break the tiebreaker. I'm taking Buffalo.
Really? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I take Buffalo.
Great to see you, Tyler.
I sent you a message, Spread. Told you I forgot about you today. I was busy running errands this morning. Completely forgot.
Is this going to be the new thing where you just wait in backstage and then just jump on as soon as I say something you disagree with?
I like it.
This is a new way for Tyler to become more popular with the people if he wasn't already popular enough. All right, everybody. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, Tyler's here, so you have no reason not to now. Tyler, we just went over the full morning slate.
I don't get my Miami thoughts in?
Is that what?
Just cut me off. He doesn't gonna let me get my Miami thoughts. I gotta talk to the Miami fans for a second.
Let's do Tyler's whole morning slate, and then
Okay.
we'll get your Miami thoughts.
All right,
How's
fine,
that?
fine.
All right. Tyler, good morning / afternoon. Great to see you. We don't have to talk about every game, but maybe your top 2 or 3 takeaways from yesterday's morning games.
I mean, Steelers suck. Matt Canada needs fired. He should have been left in Houston. The Buccaneers
Is that
are
really
gonna,
Matt Canada's fault, or does Kenny Pickett just suck?
They both suck. Leave them both in Houston. The Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South, like we talked about a few weeks ago. Hopefully, guys got on them at 6-1.
Great.
And the Bears need to just fire everyone from the owner down to the ball boy.
Yeah.
Okay, there is his morning thoughts. Tyler also likes the Bills over the Chiefs on a neutral. Now it's time, JC. The millions of Miami fans that have tuned in to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let them know
Look,
how they should feel after this loss.
you know, we got a little ahead of ourselves. Maybe not quite ready for prime time, these Dolphins. Granted, it was in Buffalo, so it's not really a game you circle as a win on the schedule when it comes out anyways. So, but except for us that we're maybe had 20-0 on our mind after last week's performance, we're back down to earth.
They're still first in the AFC
East.
East. Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted to say North, but I knew they weren't North.
They're not the North.
We're the North.
Miami in the AFC North, yes. I still like Miami to win the division if Tua is healthy.
Why?
Because
Buffalo's bound to put up another 1 to 2 stinkers. They always do it.
You know what we need to talk about? Buffalo lost Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, that's another big thing. And you know what that probably did, Spread? Locked up DeMar Hamlin's comeback player of the year because now he's going to have to play. He put a uniform on yesterday and played 18 special team snaps, and now he's minus 500.
All right. Well, that's a weird market.
he's like, man, he's like the Make-A-Wish kid. This is ridiculous. Like how little he has to do to win this award. Tyler, what was your thoughts on the Eagles game?
Oh, the Eagles game, I mean, division game. They kept it a little closer than I expected. I thought Howell would get sacked a little bit more. And I mean, they just did what they do in the end. They pulled away. They got the win. It went to overtime, which I didn't expect. I didn't think they'd get that last drive in there. But divisional games are a little closer than we expect sometimes. That was the team that knocked them out of their undefeated streak last year. So I wish that the 2 games that would have played out a little different on the morning slate was Chicago continued to beat Denver into the dirt, even though I would have lost the call on Denver. Yeah. And Washington maybe etched that game out or lost that game still because we would have got a great number on Washington on Thursday. Now they're minus 7.
How do you feel?
Chicago.
Yeah.
If Chicago wins in a blowout and Washington loses, we get a nice number on Washington.
Yeah. Definitely. All right.
How do you feel about betting Philly?
What do you mean? Betting them going forward?
Yeah, it's a spread.
We haven't been laying it with them, JC.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm tired of losing money on Philly because I keep getting what I feel like are great numbers, but like they're just not dominant like they were last year.
We haven't bet them once, Tyler. We've only teased them, right?
Yeah, they're just a teaser spot for me. Like even this week, like I probably won't lay 4.5 versus the Rams, but I'll probably have them in a money line parlay.
No, I think we bet them week 1 when they were minus 4, and we got kind of lucky.
Yeah, because I lost money on them week 2 when they were like 6.5 on the Vikings.
We only bet them week 1, and we were lucky to cover there, Tyler.
Okay.
And we actually talked about it on this show that maybe they're not going to blow teams out like we thought.
Can we talk about just look ahead lines for Sunday? Can we talk about the fact that the Bengals are only a 3-point favorite against Arizona?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going to actually ask you about the Bengals. How do we approach them? JC hit it right on the head. The idea of, hey, okay, we're not downgrading them like as an overall team, but we're temporarily downgrading them because Burrow's not healthy.
I think this is the week I probably jump in on them. Like, this is the first time I looked at the number and went, that's a little bit too far down.
Why, though?
It's Arizona. I mean, I just don't think they're a good team.
Okay, let's take our priors out of here. Let's only look at what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
They're only like -2 to me on against it compared to an average team. They're like 22nd.
I still think
Cardinals versus Falcons on a neutral.
Cardinals versus Falcons on a neutral. I mean, I hate the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder.
I know that's my point.
Yeah, I was thinking like 5 or 6, maybe like -5.
We got better. Not -5.
No chance. It's a pick 'em on a neutral.
It's got to be minus.
Oh wow, I'm betting a mortgage on Arizona.
Yeah, I think Cardinals there too.
Yeah.
I'm on Atlanta in that matchup, and I don't even like Atlanta. I just think they run through them.
I don't. Arizona.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm still like I hear what you're saying, Tyler. I'm still not touching that game because I don't trust either of those
we
teams.
just watch. I know CMC is the best running back in the league, and putting his name into MVP conversations. But Buddy just put up 4 touchdowns and was running all through them. What do you think Bijan would do to that defense? Yeah, well, Bijan's got a hell of an offensive line still. He would be able to put up touchdowns against that team.
Yeah, but Arizona would score back. I don't know. Maybe you're right. All right,
I think Atlanta's defense is able to contain them. I want to know if they play. The Jets. Give me the Jets. The Jets defense doesn't let the Cardinals do much. I guarantee it.
Okay.
I heard you saying the Jets defense might not be as good. I mean, other than that phantom call last night, Zach Wilson would have beat Mahomes. So,
which one?
The one at the end of the game.
There was 2 bad calls. We didn't get to that game yet, but don't worry. I got a rant coming for you.
The pass interference on Sauce.
42 minutes in yet, and I haven't got my 2 biggest rants in yet.
Yeah, that the pass interference on Sauce was bad. And then I believe it was the play before that where it was on the camera side so you could see it right on your TV. The defensive lineman's throwing his arms up because he's being held, and Mahomes just runs away.
On the long run.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy bad. All right, let's knock out these 2 games real quick. Then I can rant about my Raiders, and we'll get into that game tonight. The 49ers, you talked about a little bit. I guess we pretty much already talked about it. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. I thought the Cardinals did well to play them tough. I thought the Cardinals were going to cover the whole time. I was kicking them for not playing them at +14. And then at the end, I was patting myself on the back again. Hey, way to lay off, right? I guess we've already talked about them enough. JC, anything that we left out?
No. Did you say you think San Francisco is the best team in the NFL?
Yes. Who's better?
Kansas City, Buffalo, Miami?
No.
I mean, they're head and shoulders above everyone in the AFC. I don't know why. I've got a hard time putting them. Excuse me.
I think there's a good chance the 2 best teams in the NFL at this moment reside in the NFC.
Oh, AP's in the chat. What's up, my man?
Our guy AP's in there.
Who's the second best?
Dallas.
No. I mean, like, I don't know. No,
I mean, I know they had a stinker loss.
Let's talk about Dallas right now. They won 38-3, and just watching the game, the offense still didn't look good, and they had 38 points.
2 defensive touchdowns. I mean, that defense could beat anybody at any moment on any week if they get pressure on the quarterback.
Dude, do you know how hard I was sweating our under there, Tyler? You know, I was pounding when we were doing our picks this week. I was pounding the table for that under. You weren't so sure. And after losing the other one that I talked you into, that Rams Colts, I didn't want to lose another one. So, Cowboys, what were you saying, JC? You think that they're better? You think they're better than the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with saying Dallas better than Eagles, but it still feels like a regular season team. Like, I still feel like they're going to crash and burn in the playoffs.
How do you think they're going to do next week when they take on San Francisco on Sunday?
Yeah, I didn't realize. I didn't know if Tyler was introducing that segue. I think San Francisco is going to clown them. I will gladly take the 3.5, and I'll probably grab an alt spread.
Yeah, I think San Francisco.
And I don't know if I'm just saying this because they got beat by Arizona, and it kind of just opened that dialogue of Dallas isn't that good. But there is just something I can't wrap my head around Dallas being a powerhouse. Interested. It'll be fun to see them play the Eagles. But yeah, love them. But can we also talk about how this was the worst loss of Belichick's career? This dude's been in the league forever, and 35 points is the worst loss of his career. I hate the man, but what a legend.
Yeah, he's got tough sledding coming forward. That's another team though, JC. Remember what I talked about? Dude, let them get a quarterback.
Oh,
the
New
Steelers,
England?
the Falcons, the Patriots. Dude, they draft one of these studs. They are ready to go.
The Steelers need a lot more than a quarterback spread.
Oh, come on. What else do they need?
I mean, they have one receiver right now. The guy running wide receiver 2 routes is named Allen Robinson. They have both running backs suck. I don't want to hear the Jalen Warren talk anymore when the dude can't hold on to the football.
Yeah.
Like, Pat
but these are easy things to find.
The offensive line still doesn't look good. Our offensive coordinator's drawing up plays that I could make in my sleep. Tomlin's standing there with his arms crossed doing nothing. Like, the defense is only going to continue to get older. They need a lot more than you think.
I think you put a good quarterback in there. A lot of those issues go away. We see what CJ Stroud's doing behind that patchwork line in Houston, and it just shows the way they change these rules. Quarterback matters so much. So Tyler, my team fell behind 24-7. Didn't give up a point in the second half and fell 24-17. The big takeaway from this game, Herbert and that hand. That could affect this team going forward. I mean, the Raiders suck. We know they're going to suck. It sucks as a Raiders fan, too, because this is a matchup we usually do well in. And it just wasn't happening for us. So talk to me about what you took away from this game and how do we affect with the Chargers going forward. Herbert, probably not 100%.
I mean, it's a non-throwing hand, so I'm not that worried about it. So he'll still be able to move the ball. I mean, they said he couldn't take snaps under center, but that's also right after the injury happened. Give him a week. I think he'll be back to being pretty much fine. And with it being the offhand, I don't think it affects him all that much.
And he's got a bye.
Yeah, and he's on his bye week, so I don't think it does pretty much.
So we don't adjust at all?
Nope.
Okay.
And I'd like some credit. As I told you, this Chargers team wasn't that bad. Back-to-back wins. Suddenly they're, right back where they need to be, on pace.
Back-to-back wins.
I mean, are there 7 good teams in the AFC?
This is what we were talking about this a little bit earlier because we were talking about the Bengals and how like that last 1 or 2 wild card slot is up for grabs, and if they can just, they got plenty of time to correct and still make the playoffs.
I think both wild card spots are going to be up for grabs.
Because you got, Buffalo, Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore, whoever comes out of the AFC South.
And Houston's probably going to be right in that mix too.
Yeah, it is pretty. I mean, it's also funny from where we started from the beginning of the season. We're like, oh my gosh, the AFC, it's so much talent. I mean, some good teams are going to miss the playoffs. And it's like, no.
Some teams will emerge. We're going to see some teams get better.
No, for sure, absolutely. But it's like, it's just, not
like
really
Jacksonville's got a lot of room for improvement. The Chargers can get a lot better. They could be a true powerhouse. Who knows what to make of this Texans team? I still think a lot. I think the ones that we really missed on there are the Bengals and the Broncos, teams that we thought, were going to do pretty well, and they did not. Not much of a rant on this one, JC, but boy, dude, it just sucks because we know McDaniels is not the guy. So now we got to wait this whole year. Hopefully we get one of these quarterbacks that we're talking about. And, boy, I'm just so disappointed here because we're going to have to redo everything, jettison everyone. All right, regardless, no one wants to hear me whine about how my team
what do you like? Do you think coach is their biggest problem?
Yes.
Yeah,
coach and GM. The fact that they haven't hit on a draft pick since 2016 is bad. The fact they traded Khalil Mack for 5 draft picks and those draft picks had more combined felonies than they did Pro Bowl appearances, that's bad. So I'd say GM's the number one problem because the team's just not talented. I mean, defensively, there's just no talent out there. They got Max Crosby and that's it. But let's talk about this Chiefs-Jets game. Dude, that officiating was disgusting. I'm so glad we didn't bet it, Tyler. I am so glad we did not bet this game. I'm so happy to just watch it and not have any money on it as I was absolutely disgusted by these calls. Were you surprised that the Chiefs got so much love? I mean, it's New York. I think New York would get a little love. What was up with that, dude? If you're going to go against the Chiefs, do you need to have one of your players date like Beyonce or Rihanna so you have a pop star up in the booth so the NFL will care? Or is this just randomness and I'm just throwing stuff together? Because I'll tell you what, Tyler, those were 2 really bad calls, and you brought them up earlier. But a phantom holding call on an interception, and then, of course, the missed holding call there. What do you think, Tyler? What were your takeaways from that game? Also, Zach Wilson didn't look too bad.
No, he didn't look too bad. I think he outgained Mahomes, had more pass completions, more passing touchdowns. First time anyone's done that in college or NFL against Mahomes. So it's funny that a guy like Zach Wilson pulls that off. But, I mean, it was almost like they had multiple scripts going in this game. Like, they let the guys hit the field, and it was like, all right, let's see what happens. And it looked like the Chiefs were going to have 31 points at halftime, and the Jets were going to have 0. It was like, well, we need to run all these Taylor Swift ads for all these new fans, so can't have this game getting out of hand. Mahomes throws a couple just interceptions that mean, like, I've never seen the guy throw before. Just dumps them right to the guy. The Jets score a couple points. The game gets a lot closer than the officials and I think the NFL was expecting. And it was like, oh, shit, they're about to win this game. Now, phantom holding call. Chiefs win. All the Swifties are happy at the end of the night. Chiefs win. NFL gets their way. Mahomes stays the poster boy. But can he just cheat on her already so we can get this over with? Like, we don't need all these people in football.
Zach Wilson's better than Ritter. I don't think there's even close.
I think you should put Zach Wilson, Desmond Ritter, Justin Fields, and Kenny Pickett in a boat, pop a hole in it, and drop it right in the middle of the ocean.
Jeez.
Well, that's just mean, Tyler. Wow. What do you think? Should these quarterbacks star in Titanic 2, produced by Tyler Hicks?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I don't think they deserve jobs in the National Football League.
Backups.
I don't even think they're that.
Even that.
Give me Mason Rudolph over Kenny Pickett at this point.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
It was, man, that was wild. Like, I was about even on the afternoon slate, and then I lost so much money on this game.
Dude, don't bet primetime games. Bro, just be like me. Just sit back, dude. Put one in the air and just watch because you already know.
I already took the like -7.5 or what it was because it seemed like a joke of a number against the Jets. And then because it was such a crappy game, I didn't plan on watching it. But then my wife, huge Swiftie, she's like, when do the Jets play? And the Chiefs. We gotta watch it. I was like, okay. So I threw down a bunch more bets. I took the under, which did hit. Then I put some 3 units on Kelsey TD. That didn't hit. Took an alt spread on the Chiefs. That obviously didn't hit. And then I was like, it'd be fun. A Mahomes TD plus 400. Let's do it. Let's go for the long ball. I'm watching the game. And then to see this man fall a yard short of cashing those bets, that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking.
All right. Let's dive into tonight. You know what's heartbreaking? Rooting for a team that employs Josh McDaniels. I'm not going to feel sorry for you at all, JC. I'm sorry. Let me pull up the most current line.
Why? Just tell me why. Why would he slide there? Like, what difference does it make if,
Because it just ends the game.
There's 20 seconds. The Jets aren't going to put up 10 points in 20 seconds.
No, there was like
first down in 20 seconds. Huh?
There was 2 minutes left.
No, not when he slid at the 1 yard line.
There was like a minute and 48 seconds left.
They had to get the fourth down. All right,
I'm not talking about the 3rd and 22 play. I'm talking about when it was like they were.
You're talking about when he ran it, slid it at the 3 yard line, stood up, and did the finger roll. Oh, yeah, there was like a minute 30 left.
Okay, still less than 2 minutes. The Jets weren't going to score 10 points in that time. And he pissed off so many people.
Including our guy, JC Zargo. Give him the thumbs up for being pissed off. I'm telling you what, don't bet primetime games. Just make your money in the afternoon like me, pop some edibles, and then go, why do they keep showing this singer? Why is she so good? And then JC Zargo's just sending me all these YouTube videos of this woman. All right, the Seattle Seahawks. Tyler, we like the Seahawks, but when we liked them, it was +1. Why is this line all the way out to -2.5? Is it because on every podcast and every show I've watched, they talked about Daniel Jones being 1-11 in prime time, the new Kirk Cousins? But it shows you what if we just go to a 1-game sample size? Well, he's on a 1-game winning streak in prime time, Tyler. Which one do we do more? No, in all seriousness, though, why is this line moved this much? I mean, I'm on the Seahawks too, but doesn't it seem like an overreaction? I almost want to just buy out.
Yeah,
And just get this 2.5.
I don't know where you're getting the 1-game winning streak from in his prime time, because he played last
Did he
Thursday.
win against the Commanders?
No, he got his head pounded in against the Niners last Thursday, and then in week 1, Dallas took a shit on him on Sunday night.
Okay, so he's 1-2.
He's 1-11 in his entire career in prime time.
I didn't even catch those first two. I looked at last season and I saw that he beat the Commanders on prime time. That was I didn't forget they already put him on twice. Okay. Thank you for correcting my mistakes. Seahawks -2.5. Why?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Thomas is out. That's a lineman for the Giants.
Okay.
Saquon's probably also out, which is their entire offense. Daniel Jones is going to have to run for his life and throw to Isaiah Hodgins, Wandale Robinson, Darren Waller, who's playing with a gum band for an hamstring, who could go out at any moment. They play a ton of man coverage, and now they're going to try and cover DK, Lockett, and Jackson Smith, which is just going to be terrible. You seen the clip of Geno talking to Jackson Smith last game saying he needs the kid to stay in the game. He's going to find him. He's going to find him. Just keep his head in the game. Kid's one of the best separators at the route spot. Now you're going to match him up with man coverage versus a Giants defense like this. I'll be on him to score tonight. I think he gets a couple targets. I think he breaks one and gets in the end zone finally. I think Geno has his way back in New York. Now, I know he played for the Jets. Didn't he have a stint for the Giants, too, as a backup? Or am I just mistakenly Geno?
Oh,
he was a Giant at one point also, right? I know he was a Jet.
Yeah. I think
so. Slight little revenge narrative here, too, for Geno. If that is true, I just have a picture of him in the Giants jersey in my head. I just don't see how their
2017.
Yeah, okay, so he was there. I don't see how their defense stops him. I don't think their run game's going to be able to do much against Seattle, outside of maybe Jones with a couple broken run plays. But, I mean, Seattle's just going to put up points. I don't think the Giants keep up, so give me Seattle, even at the extended number.
You believe the market is correct. JC, what are your thoughts here on the Seahawks and the Giants? Tyler and I bet it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where the Seahawks were +1.
Yeah, I was looking at it this morning because I don't know. I just didn't look at it on Saturday. I don't understand this number at all. The Giants
What do you think
suck.
it should be?
Huh?
What do you think it should be?
4 or 5?
No way. They would take so much Giants money.
The Giants suck. Seattle's a pretty good team. 4.
Anything over 3, they would get 80% Giants money.
Great. That'd be so much more money for Vegas because they're just.
JC, not sold on the New York Giants.
I know we just talked about not betting primetime games, but I'm going to be hard pressed to not grab an alt spread.
Well, here's the deal. Tyler and I bet them early in the week. So if we like it, well, we don't force things on primetime. So we actually, the projections love this game. They love Seattle here. I'll tell you what, I'm getting worried about it. Are
there any concerning numbers about Seattle on the East Coast?
I could look that up. Let me look it up right now. What props are you looking for tonight's game, Tyler? Why look that up?
Yeah, I like the Jackson Smith touchdown. I mean, Kenneth Walker's been an animal too. Don't mind his touchdown and his rushing yards. Said Daniel Jones probably going to be most of their offense. His rushing yards isn't a bad look at 36.5 because he's probably running for his life most of this game. I mean, that's probably it for me on the props. I mean, you could play both the quarterbacks' interceptions at plus money. I don't hate either of those because they are both plus money. But outside of that, probably just the Seahawks and the touchdown scores for me.
All right. A couple trends here. Seattle 5-1 in their last 6 games against New York. Under gone 4 of 5 in the last 2. These 2 times matched up, so 4 of 5. Under in 16 of the Giants' last 22 home games. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. What do you think, JC? Should I jump in?
On the under?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It definitely feels like it's gonna be a gross game.
Ever since that tweet came out talking about all the primetime unders, Thursday, San Fran and the Giants went over, didn't it? And last night, wasn't it 42.5?
No. Yeah, the under hit last night.
Wasn't it 23-20?
Yeah. So if it was 42.5, it went over.
Yeah, no, it did.
point.
It went over 1.5. I don't know if I grabbed an online or if I just didn't hit that bet.
So you're saying I can't bet this under, and you want me to just stick with the Seattle bet?
Nah, I like the spread.
Tons.
Where are the points coming from? Where are the points coming from in this game?
I mean, Seahawks defense isn't necessarily that good. Giants defense is terrible.
46.5?
I'm down to 46 on my book.
I don't know.
All right.
See how it did.
So you like the under.
Yeah,
Everyone likes Seattle. I'm sure that will go well.
Yeah.
What props are you looking at for this game?
Somebody said it in the chat. I am all over a Daniel Jones interception. Laying out plus money, like right at even money, plus 102 on FanDuel. Who was it? Got to give him some shine. Quan Knowles, if I'm saying that right. Gino's a good passer. Someone said Gino. Yeah. 140. Okay, I'm seeing 116 on FanDuel. At 140, I don't mind that play, but he's not really one to give up many interceptions. 150.
Eric Roses is on this. Eric Roses, Daniel Jones interception plus 105. Geno Smith interception plus 140. Single plays M parlay. Eric Roses, of course, renowned for his boxing knowledge. Eric, did you see Canelo? Charlie didn't even show up this weekend. Unbelievable. That was one of the worst no-shows I've seen for a fight. Can you imagine paying all that money for that? I'm glad I did not. All right.
Ooh, hang on. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Geno Smith over 12.5 rushing yards.
And why is that?
It's a low number. He's always liable to, get a nice little rush if he's okay, maybe not. His game log is -4, 20, and 6. I don't know. What do we? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, you can. You could play it. There's not a lot of trend going.
Yeah, I thought he was a little bit better than that.
All right, Tyler. We all like the Seahawks. JC and I are looking at this under, but you're warning us against it. Final thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, Seahawks come in, do their thing. Geno throws probably 3 touchdowns. I think the rookie gets on the board with 1. And we just continue to slander Daniel Jones, and we see which one of these teams moves off their $100 million quarterback first.
Between who?
Them, and you got Denver still at the bottom with their guy. So all the teams at the bottom with these expensive quarterbacks.
I don't think the Seahawks are going to move off their guy, are they?
No, unless they went drastically wrong.
All right, JC. We've gone through the whole review. Now it's time to get us out of here. The words of wisdoms and final thoughts on Seahawks versus Giants. That's your cue.
Joe, you tossing to me? Joe, you said final thoughts and words. I don't know. All right, whatever.
We're throw it all out there. And Tyler's going to end the stream today, not me.
Look, got a lot of, I'm talking to some new people, different broadcasts, not where we're usually at. So I gotta go back to my old faithful, which is straight money wins money. Don't be doing those parlays
We're here to build bankroll, win money, you know, be able to buy another house with our winnings. And you're not going to get that with parlays and stupid plus money bets. Straight money wins money. Don't you forget it.